Okay, hi everyone. So now we are going to start with GK, right? The general knowledge part. Okay, so the topic general knowledge. This will cover a lot of topics. Okay, so what are the first in everything? For example, who are the first people who have done a lot of things? So first in males, first in females. We will talk about superlatives, right? The largest of things, the smallest of things, the lightest of things, right? The tallest of things in the world. Of course, we will talk about the books, we will talk about authors, we will talk about the important dates in India, we will talk about the important awards, we will talk about sports. So all of these will be covered in general knowledge. So let's start. Right, so now we will talk about the first in the world in both males and females. So in the first in the world, so you will understand what we are doing is first man in space. So who was the first man to go into space? He was Yuri Gagarin. Yuri Gagarin, a Soviet Union citizen and Russia. Okay, from Russia, Soviet Union, which was later now Russia. Okay, so Yuri Gagarin was the person who was the first man to go into space. First woman in space, Valentina Tereshkova. Okay, also from the Soviet Union slash Russia. First man to climb Mount Everest. So who was the first man to climb Mount Everest? It was two, Sir Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay from India slash Nepal. First woman to climb Mount Everest. So who was the first woman to climb Mount Everest? It was Junko Tabe from Japan. Junko Tabe. First country to make a map. Okay, so the first country that made a map of the world, it was Mesopotamia, Greece. Okay, so first country to make a map for itself, right? Mesopotamia, which is now modern day Greece. First spaceship that landed on Mars. Okay, so what was the first spaceship that landed on Mars? It was Viking 1. Viking 1 in July 1976. We sent the first spaceship to Mars, right? Now, first country to make a constitution. Now, which was the first country that made a constitution? It was America. You know what a constitution is? It is the written set of rules and regulations and the guidelines that all countries make. First country, we have the longest written constitution in India. First country to start underground metro, right? We have metro trains. Now, which was the first country that started metro? It was Britain. The first unmanned mission to moon. Okay, so the first unmanned means there was no man, it was remotely controlled. The first unmanned mission to moon, it was Luna 9. Luna 9. First spacecraft to carry a man to moon. Okay, the first spacecraft to carry a man to moon. It was Apollo 11, in which Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, they went to the moon. Okay. First country to impose carbon tax. Okay, first country to impose carbon tax. It was New Zealand. First space shuttle launched. Okay, so the first space shuttle was launched where? It was launched in Colombia in April 1981. The first radio telescope satellite launched into space. So the radio telescope satellites, these are satellites surrounding the earth. It is a radio telescope which we launched into the space. It was Halka from Japan. Japan did this. The name of the remote telescope satellite was Halka. First man to circumnavigate the globe. So if this is the globe, means the earth, he went around the earth, okay, traveled everything. It was Ferdinand Magellan, okay, Ferdinand Magellan. It was a Portugal name, okay. So in 1522, in the year 1522, he did that. First man to win the Nobel Prize in Physics. So who was the first man to win the Nobel Prize in Physics? Wilhelm Conrad. Okay, so Wilhelm Conrad from Germany, 1901. First woman in space, of course, it is Valentina Tereshkova. Now we know that it was USSR. First woman prime minister. So who was the first woman prime minister? It was Sirimavo Bandaranaike from in Sri Lanka, 1960. Okay, so the first woman prime minister was from Sri Lanka. First woman to win the Nobel Prize in Physics, Marie Curie. Okay, Marie Curie. First woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, Selma Lagerlöf from Sweden. First woman to climb the Mount Everest, we know it is Junko Tabe. The first woman to adopt a written constitution was from USA. First country to adopt a written constitution, sorry. First modern Olympic Games. Okay, so the Olympic Games, we all know various countries participate in various sports. Now, the first modern Olympic Games was in Athens, Greece, in 1896. It happened in Athens, in Greece. A lot of countries participate. It was in 1896. First country to issue paper currency. Now, we know money as paper currency, right? Now, which was the first country to start paper currency? That was China. Cool. Which is the first country to win the FIFA World Cup? If you know FIFA World Cup, it is a football World Cup, right? Now, which was the first country to win it? It was Uruguay in 1930. First country to implement a national flag. Okay, so we know countries by their flags. Which was the first country to make its national flag? It was Denmark. Denmark made the first national flag. Now we come to first in India. Okay, so what are the first in India? The first president of India. Who was the first president of India? It was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. First prime minister of India? It was Jawaharlal Nehru. First Indian in space. So who was the first Indian to go to space? It was Rakesh Sharma. First Indian Nobel laureate who was nominated for a Nobel Prize, Nobel Peace Prize, who won a Nobel Literature Prize. Sorry, it was Rabindranath Tagore. He brought the first Nobel Prize in literature. It was Rabindranath Tagore. He also wrote our national anthem, right? First Indian woman to win an Olympic medal. First Indian woman to win an Olympic medal. It was Karna Maleswari in weightlifting. That was a bronze medal in year 2000. So she won the first Olympic medal. Okay, newspaper. So what was the first Indian newspaper? It was the Bengal Gazette. The Bengal Gazette, right? Which was the first vernacular daily? Samachar Darpan. Which was the first Hindi newspaper? It was Udant Martand, right? The first telephone line, telegraph line, it was Diamond Harbour to Kolkata. The first international telephone service in India, we could make international calls. That was Mumbai to London. Okay, the telephone line from Mumbai to London in 1851. That was the first international call. Okay, so in India. Now, which was the first silent movie? If you remember, earlier we used to have silent movies, right? Which was the first silent movie in India? It was Raja Harishchandra, the name of the movie, made by Dada Saheb Phalke in 1913, right? Dada Saheb Phalke, 1913. Now, which was the first talkative movie which had sound? It was Alam Ara. Alam Ara, this was a movie which was the first movie with voice. Aircraft warship. Now, which was the first aircraft warship which could carry airplanes like fighter planes? If you've seen ships which have airstrips, right? They can have fighter pilots, fighter planes, right? Now that is a aircraft warship. So which is the first aircraft warship in India? It is INS Vikrant. What is the first satellite launched by India? Okay, the first satellite, it is Aryabhat on 19th April 1975. We launched Aryabhatta. Nuclear reactor. So what was the first nuclear reactor? It was Apsara in 1956. Mars mission. Okay, so the first Mars mission from India, it was Mars orbiter mission. We sent an orbiter to Mars. So if this is Mars, we sent a satellite to Mars, so it would orbit around it. It is the Mars orbiter mission on 5th November 2013. Okay, so 2013. Who was the first Governor General of India? The first Governor General of India. It was William Bentinck. William Bentinck in 1828. Okay. First Governor General of India, it is William Bentinck. The first and last Indian Governor General of Free India. So we only made one Governor General of India. After that, the constitution was changed. We had a Republic Day. We made our own laws. So the first and last Indian Governor General of Free India. Free India. Okay. Means after we had freedom. So who was the first and last Indian Governor General? It was C. Raja Gopalachari. C. Raja Gopalachari. Who was the first commander-in-chief of Free India? What is the commander-in-chief? Okay, he commanded all the armies, all the defense forces. The commander-in-chief of Free India, it is General K.M. Cariappa. General K.M. Cariappa, he was the first commander-in-chief of India. Who was the first Field Marshal of India? Field Marshal is a post that has all 5 stars of the Indian Army, and this has only been occupied twice. Who was the first one? It was General SHFJ Manekshaw, Sam Manekshaw in 1971. The first Indian to go to space, of course, it is Rakesh Sharma, right? Rakesh Sharma. The first Indian to climb Mount Everest without oxygen. So this Indian climbed Mount Everest without oxygen, without an oxygen cylinder. Sherpa Ang Dorje. Sherpa Ang Dorje. First Indian to get Nobel Prize in Physics. Okay, so we also had a Nobel Prize in Physics. So who was the first Indian for it? C.V. Raman. First Nobel Prize in Literature, of course, it is Rabindranath Tagore. The first Nobel Prize in Economics, it was Dr. Amartya Sen. Okay, the first Indian to get Nobel Prize in Medicine. So medicine is like medicine covers a lot of branches of medicine, right? Physiology, cardiology, neurology. Now it was in physiology, right? Dr. Har Govind Khurana. Dr. Har Govind Khurana in 1968. The first Indian to get Bharat Ratna. The Bharat Ratna is the highest award, okay, given to civilians. So Bharat Ratna was given to Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, C. Raja Gopalachari and Dr. C.V. Raman. Collectively, it was given to these 3. First Indian to get Bharat Ratna posthumously. Posthumously means after their death. Okay, so posthumously means after death. So who was the first Indian to get Bharat Ratna after death? It was Lal Bahadur Shastri. Lal Bahadur Shastri got Bharat Ratna after death. First Indian to swim across the English Channel. Okay, so English Channel. Okay, who was the first Indian to swim across it? It is Mihir Sen. Mihir Sen in 1958. He swam across the English Channel. The first Indian cricketer to get Padma Bhushan. First Indian cricketer to get Padma Bhushan. It is C.K. Naidu. Who was the first woman cabinet minister? So we have a leading government, alright. We have the prime minister and he or she has its own cabinet ministers who are given various portfolios. So one would manage transport, one would manage education, one would manage defense, one would manage finance. Now the first woman cabinet minister, so this was the first woman who was included as a cabinet minister. It was Rajkumari Amrit Kaur. Rajkumari Amrit Kaur in 1947. So soon after we got independence. First woman chairman of the UN General Assembly. The first woman chairman of the UN General Assembly. Okay, it is Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. From India. Okay, we are talking about India only here. First Indian woman president of India. Okay, so the first woman president of India, it is Mrs. Pratibha Patil, right? Pratibha Devi Singh Patil. First woman prime minister of India. The first woman prime minister of India, it was Indira Gandhi. First female Nobel Prize winner, okay, from India. Okay, the first female Nobel Prize winner from India was Mother Teresa, right? It was a Nobel Peace Prize. First woman speaker of Lok Sabha, the first woman speaker of Lok Sabha, Meera Kumar, right? Lok Sabha as a speaker, so who was the first woman speaker? It was Meera Kumar. The first female Chief Justice, right? We have a Chief Justice of India. The first female Chief Justice is Leela Seth. First woman to reach Antarctica the first Indian woman to reach Antarctica was Meher Moose. Meher Moose. Okay, she was the first Indian woman to reach Antarctica. First actress to be nominated to Rajya Sabha. So an actress who was nominated to be a part of Rajya Sabha, member of Rajya Sabha, was Nargis Dutt. First woman to win silver in Olympics. The first Indian woman to win silver in Olympics was PV Sindhu in badminton. She won in the sport badminton. She was the first Indian woman to win a silver medal in Olympics. First Indian to win bronze in Olympics. Okay, the first Indian woman to win bronze in Olympics. Okay, Sakshi Malik in wrestling. In wrestling, she was the first Indian woman to win in wrestling a bronze medal. The first female pilot in Indian Navy, who was a woman. Okay, Shivangi Chaturvedi. First woman to become a member of International Olympic Committee. So the International Olympic Committee, who's the first Indian woman to become a member of it? It is Neeta Ambani. Neeta Ambani. The highest civilian award. Okay, so the highest civilian award, it is Bharat Ratna. The longest river, it is the Ganga river, the Ganges. What is the highest peak, the highest mountain peak? It is Mount Everest, located partly in Nepal and partly in India. So half of it is in Nepal, mostly of it is in Nepal, and some of it is in India. So highest peak is Mount Everest. Largest state, so which is the largest state? It is Rajasthan. The largest city by population. The largest city by population means it has the most number of people. It is Mumbai, Maharashtra. The longest river, it is again Ganga. The longest dam, Hirakud Dam in Odisha. The longest sea beach, okay, so the longest sea beach is the Marina Beach in Chennai. Biggest river islands in India is the Majuli near the Brahmaputra river in Assam. Okay. The largest freshwater lake means it has fresh water and it is very big. So it is the Wular Lake in Jammu and Kashmir. The highest dam means situated at the highest point. Okay. It is the Tehri Dam in Uttarakhand. State with longest coastline. The state with the longest coastline is Gujarat. Means most of its coast, this line with the sea, this is the coastline. Okay, so which is the longest in kilometer sense? That is in Gujarat. That is the state of Gujarat. Longest sea bridge. Okay, that is the Bandra Worli Sea Link in Mumbai. Okay, Bandra Worli Sea Link. Largest artificial lake in India is the Govind Sagar Bhakra Nangal. That is the artificial lake, means it is man-made, it was not naturally there. The longest road, which is the longest road? It is the Grand Trunk Road from Kolkata to Delhi. Kolkata to Delhi. That is the Grand Trunk Road. Highest airport. So what is the airport that is situated at the highest land, like the highest mountains, like the highest above the sea level? So it is Leh Airport in Ladakh. Ladakh is at a very high level, right, above sea level, very high above the sea. Okay, so that is Leh Airport. Largest desert. So which is the largest desert? It is the Thar Desert in India. Okay, the largest delta in India, it is the Sundarbans Delta. It is also the largest delta in the world. Which is the state with the largest zoo? Which is the state with the largest zoo? It is Tamil Nadu. Longest national highway, it is NH44. Okay, so this is the longest road that is a highway that goes in India. Highest award, so which is the highest award that an individual can get in India? It is the Bharat Ratna. Highest gallantry award, so which is the highest gallantry award? It is Paramveer Chakra. The Paramveer Chakra, which is the highest gallantry, means in defense. Largest Gurudwara, so which is the largest Gurudwara in India? It is the Golden Temple in Amritsar. The largest cave temple, inside a cave, right? It is the Kailash Temple in Ellora, Maharashtra, in the Ellora caves. It is the Kailash Temple. The largest mosque, right? It is the Jama Masjid situated in Delhi. It is the largest mosque of India. The longest tunnel, which is the longest tunnel? It is in Chennai Nashri tunnel. It is the Chennai Nashri tunnel. Okay, between Chennai and Nashri, this is the longest tunnel. The largest cave, okay, so which is the largest cave in India? It is the Amarnath in Jammu and Kashmir. The biggest church, so which is the biggest church in India? It is the Saint Cathedral in Goa. Okay, in old Goa, this is the biggest church. Okay, highest battlefield, so which is the highest battlefield in India? It is the Siachen Glacier. So Siachen is the highest battlefield. Our soldiers are posted there. It is very high situated. It does not have a lot of oxygen, so that is the highest battlefield. Superlatives of the world again. So now we will talk about the world, not India. So which is the longest river in the world? It is the Nile River in Africa. The highest peak, okay, so the highest mountain, it is Mount Everest in Asia. The largest ocean, it is the Pacific Ocean. The largest country by area, so which is the largest country by area? It is Russia. The most populous country, so the largest country by population, it is China. The tallest building, it is Burj Khalifa. Okay, so recently they were talking that the population between India and China was continuously at a competition. So sometimes India is the most populous country, sometimes China is increasing. So that is what is happening. Recently we have, I think, surpassed China, so it might be India as well. The tallest building, okay, the Burj Khalifa is the tallest building. Largest island, it is Greenland. Okay, so Greenland is the biggest island. It is a country, it is an island. Okay, the largest mosque in the world, okay, it is Masjid al-Haram, I guess, at Mecca. At the Mecca, it is a religious place of Islamic people, so that is Mecca. Now the largest bay, okay, the largest bay is Hudson Bay, Canada. The largest delta, right, we know how deltas are formed through tributaries of rivers. They create a triangular patch of land, right, which is very, very fertile. In India, it is the Sundarbans delta. It has tigers as well, right? So the largest delta is in India in Sundarbans. The largest desert is in Africa, in the Sahara Desert. The largest lake, so which is the biggest lake? It is a Caspian Sea, right? It is the Caspian Sea. Why do we call it the sea? Because it is a very big lake, a very, very big lake, Caspian Sea. The deepest lake, which is the deepest lake that goes very deep? It is Baikal in Serbia. The largest continent, which is the largest continent out of the 7 continents? It is Asia, right? It is Asia. Which is the smallest continent? It is Australia. Which is the largest country? It is again Russia. Which is the most intelligent animal after humans? Okay, so which is the most intelligent animal after humans? It is a chimpanzee. Chimpanzees are very intelligent. Largest volcano, it is the Mauna Loa in Hawaii. Okay. Which is the longest wall of the world? It is the Great Wall of China. Highest mountain peak, again Mount Everest. Highest mountain range, the highest mountain ranges, it is the Himalayas. means the mountains with the highest peaks, right? These are the Himalayas. The longest mountain range, which go for very long area, for a lot of kilometers, that is Andes Central in South America. The Andes mountain range in South America. This is the longest mountain range, which is the largest museum of the world. The largest museum is the Louvre Museum in France. So the Louvre Museum in France. Highest waterfall. Okay, so the Louvre Museum also has the Mona Lisa, a painting by Da Vinci, right? Leonardo da Vinci. Highest waterfalls. So which is the highest waterfalls falling from a great height? That is the Saito Angel Falls in Venezuela. Okay, it is not Niagara Falls, it is Angel Falls in Venezuela. The deepest and biggest ocean. Okay, so this ocean is very deep, it is very big, it is the Pacific Ocean. The largest park in the world is the National Park of Greenland. It is in Greenland. The largest peninsula. Okay, the largest peninsula, it is Arabia. Which is the coldest place? It is Verkhoyansk. Sorry, it is Verkhoyansk in Serbia. The temperatures go till minus 30 degrees, minus 40 degrees. Okay, it is a very cold place. The hottest place, which is the hottest place? It is Death Valley in USA. It is the hottest place, right? It is a very high temperature, Death Valley. Now we come to countries with capitals and currencies. So what are some countries, their capitals and their currencies? You should know about it, right? So first we come to Afghanistan. It is Kabul. Kabul is their capital and the currency is Afghani, right? Afghani is the currency. Argentina, Buenos Aires is their capital place, and Argentine peso. Peso is the currency of Argentina. Australia, the capital is Canberra. The currency is Australian dollar, right? Australian dollar. We write it like AUD, Australian dollar, right? Brazil, the capital is Brasilia. Currency is Brazilian real. Canada, so the capital is Ottawa. The capital of Canada is Ottawa and their currency is Canadian dollar, which we write as CAD, Canadian dollar. China, so the capital is Beijing, okay, and the currency is yuan, okay. This is how we call it yuan. They call it yuan, okay. So it is like this. What now for Egypt? Their capital is Cairo. Cairo is a popular tourist destination, and their currency is Egyptian pound. France, so the capital of France is Paris, of course. Their currency is euro, which was earlier French franc, but now it is euro. For Germany, their capital is Berlin and their currency is euro, right? Euro, which was earlier Deutsche Mark, but now it is euro. India, our capital is New Delhi and the currency is Indian rupee. We write it like this, Indian rupee. Most of the Southeast Asian countries have rupiah as their currency, but for different countries, right? Not Indian rupee, but maybe from their country. So Japan, the capital is Tokyo and the currency is Japanese yen. Kenya is the capital is Nairobi, right? And the currency is Kenyan shillings. Mexico, the capital is Mexico City and the currency is Mexican peso. For Russia, their capital is Moscow, right? Their capital is Moscow and their currency is Russian ruble. For South Africa, their capital is Pretoria. Administrative means the administrative work is in Pretoria. Their legislative capital is Cape Town, and Bloemfontein is their judicial capital. So they have different capitals for different things, for administration, for legislative, for judicial. The currency is South African Rand. Okay, South African Rand. For United Kingdom, the UK, their capital is in London and their currency is British Pound. Okay, the British Pound. United States of America, now we come to USA, their capital is Washington DC and their currency is USD, United States dollar, right, dollar. Venezuela, okay, so the capital is Caracas, the place name is Caracas and their currency is Venezuelan Bolivar. Venezuelan Bolivar. Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe, the capital is Harare. Okay, Harare. That's how they say it. And Zimbabwean dollar. So the Zimbabwean dollar is their currency. Now we come to various geographical epithets. Okay, so the various geographical epithets. India is called the land of diversity because we have a lot of diverse cultures, right? We have a lot of landforms, we have snows also, we have desert also, we have coast also, we have mountains as well, we have cities as well. So it is a land of diversity. Australia is called the land down under, okay, because it is situated at the very end of the globe. Italy is called the boot of Europe. Okay, Italy is called the boot of Europe. Brazil is called the land of football because they are very football fanatics, right? It is their national sport and they are crazy about football. Russia is called the land of the Tsars. Tsars used to rule the Russia. Okay, so it was called the land of Tsars. It is pronounced as Tsars. Okay, Tsars, which means kings. Land of the rising sun. Where does the sun rise? From the east. Where does it rise first? In Japan. Japan is also what? The country which experiences the first new year because that is where a new rotation of the earth starts. New day starts first in Japan. Land of the midnight sun is Norway. Land of the thunder dragon is Bhutan. Okay. Land of the long white cloud, we call it the long white cloud, is New Zealand. Land of the pharaohs. Pharaohs were in Egypt. You know the pyramids, the pharaohs. Land down under, again it's Australia. Land of the rising sun, Japan. Emerald Isle. We call this country the Emerald Isle. It is Ireland. Pearl of the Orient. Orient is this Philippines. Okay. Land of the maple leaf. Maple leaf looks like this. Okay, maybe I'll draw it better. Okay, so maple leaf looks kind of like this. Okay, and it is red in color. So the maple leaf, it is their flag as well, that is Canada. Land of fire and ice. Okay, because lava is also present there and ice is also, that is Iceland. Recently a volcanic eruption took place in Iceland. Land of the midnight sun, Sweden. Okay. Land of thousand lakes, that is Finland. Land of the free, that we call it United States of America because there's a lot of freedom there, right? They say land of the free means a lot of opportunity, a lot of freedom, people can express whatever they like. So we call, the world calls land of the free, that is United States of America. Land of the giants, that is Australia. You will find very tall, very tall big people in Australia. Land of the smiles, that is Thailand. Land of the rising sun, again Japan. Land of the Incas, that is Peru. Incas are found in Peru. Land of the kangaroos, kangaroos are found in Australia. Land of 1,000 islands, okay, a lot of islands in that country, okay, that is Indonesia. Now we come to various geographical discoveries. So various geographical discoveries. Christopher Columbus, discovery of America. He was looking for India, but he discovered America. So Christopher Columbus is who discovered America. Vasco da Gama. Now what did Vasco da Gama discover? He discovered a sea route from Europe to India. Okay, he came from Europe to India. He discovered the sea route. Ferdinand Magellan, he was the first circumnavigation of the world. He traveled around the globe. Okay, James Cook. Who was James Cook? James Cook was led the exploration of the Pacific Ocean and mapping of New Zealand and Australia. Okay, Marco Polo. Now, who was Marco Polo? Marco Polo journeyed across Asia and introduction of Eastern culture to Europe. He was the one from Italy who traveled to Asia. He saw how Eastern people are and he took that back to Europe. Alright, he introduced the Easterns to Europe. Okay, the Eastern culture, what happens in East, we live in East, right? What happens in East to the Europe. Ibn Battuta. Okay, Ibn Battuta was also an explorer. He traveled across Africa, Asia and Europe. He traveled across Africa, Asia and Europe. Alexander von Humboldt. Okay, Alexander von Humboldt. He was he led a scientific exploration of South America. He traveled across South America. He led a scientific exploration. John Hanning Speke. John Hanning Speke made the discovery of the source of the Nile River. So, the Nile River is the longest river in the world. It is in Africa. Who led the discovery of the source of Nile River, where it starts? That was John Hanning Speke. David Livingstone. So, David Livingstone was the person who led the exploration of Africa and search for the source of river Nile. Okay, this was also the person who led a search for the source of river Nile and he explored Africa. Henry Stanley. He was responsible for finding and documenting Dr. Livingstone in Africa. The Roald Amundsen. Okay, Roald Amundsen was an explorer. He led the first successful expedition to the South Pole. So, the South Pole, we have North Pole, we have South Pole, the South Pole of the Earth. Okay, so this guy, Roald Amundsen, he led the first successful expedition to the South Pole. Robert Falcon Scott, he was the person who led a fatal expedition to the South Pole. So, he went there but he died. Okay, it was not a successful. This was Robert Falcon Scott. Ernest Shackleton. He led the Antarctic exploration and endurance expedition. So, Antarctica, okay, he went to Antarctica and he led to an Antarctic exploration and endurance expedition. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, these were the first people to go to the Mount Everest, the first people to climb Mount Everest. Neil Armstrong, of course, we know he was the first human to walk on the moon. Jacques Cousteau was the pioneering marine exploration and co-invention of aqualung. Okay, he used to lead marine exploration and under the sea. Okay, Charles Darwin is regarded as for the discovery of Galapagos Islands and formulation of the theory of evolution. So, this was the guy that gave the theory of evolution. Okay, and discovery of the Galapagos Islands. That was Charles Darwin. Okay, so the theory of evolution. What was the theory of evolution? Right. The theory is that all organisms over the millions of years have evolved. They will adapt to the living conditions, adapt to the climatic conditions, and they will evolve. They will develop characteristics to support themselves. Right. So, they say humans evolved over time. Okay, so we were Neanderthals, we were the early man, the cavemen, and they evolved to what we are today, and we will still evolve to what we will be millions of years afterwards, right? The bone structure, the face structure, the spine, in all organisms, he said that this is evolution. Survival of the fittest. Lewis and Clark, these led the exploration to the American West, including Louisiana Purchase. Okay, Lewis and Clark, they led to the American West, the deserted area, the American West. Richard E. Byrd, okay, Richard E. Byrd, exploration of Antarctica and flight over the South Pole. He flew over the South Pole, he went to Antarctica. Hiram Bingham III, he led to the rediscovery of Machu Picchu in Peru. Okay, so he rediscovered Machu Picchu in Peru. Hiram Bingham III. Now we come to some important monuments of some famous countries. Okay. India, we have Taj Mahal, we have Red Fort, we have Qutub Minar. These are the most famous in the world. One of the most famous, some of them. Egypt, we have pyramids of Giza, we have the Sphinx. In France, we have the Eiffel Tower, we have the Louvre Museum. In Italy, we have the Colosseum, we have the Leaning Tower of Pisa. In China, we have the Great Wall of China and the Forbidden City. Learn the name. These are some of the wonders of the world. Okay. Pyramids of Giza, Hanging Gardens of Babylon, statue of Zeus at Olympia, temple of Artemis at Ephesus, it is in Turkey, the mausoleum, Colossus of Rhodes, lighthouse of Alexandria. These are some wonders of the world. The 7 wonders of the world, we all know, it includes the Taj Mahal, right? It includes a lot of monuments. We will discuss about that in detail, but these are some wonders, not the 7 wonders, but these are some wonders of the world. Now we come to national emblems of major countries. So what are the national emblems of major countries? So the United States of America, the national emblem is the bald eagle. They have an eagle, that is their symbol, national emblem. United Kingdom, they have a lion, right? They have a lion. Canada, it is the maple leaf. It is a red colored leaf of the maple tree. Kangaroo is of Australia because it is only found there. India, we have the lion capital of Ashoka. The lion capital of Ashoka is our national emblem. China's national emblem is a giant panda because they are only found there. Russia is the double-headed eagle. Double-headed eagle. In Brazil, they have the Southern Cross constellation. France's national emblem is Gallic rooster. It is like a chicken. It is a Gallic rooster. Japan, we have chrysanthemum, the chrysanthemum. In South Africa, we have springbok antelope. This is an animal. This is of South Africa. Italy, we have the white 5-pointed star. It is a white star that is 5-pointed. Okay. 5 points like these. Okay, so 5 points. Mexico's national emblem is a golden eagle, right? The golden eagle. Spain, we have coat of arms with pillars. Argentina has Sun of May, that is the national emblem, Sun of May. Saudi Arabia has a palm tree and crossed sword, so a palm tree and crossed swords, right? Swords. Egypt has golden eagle of Saladin. Nigeria's national emblem is coat of arms with 2 white horses. And South Korea, this is their symbol. I am not able to pronounce it. It is Taegyuk symbol, right? Which is from South Korea. This is in their language. So that will be all for this session. We will continue with more in the next session. Thank you.